Welcome in. It's Clippers Talk Live. I'm Adam Osland. Good to be with you guys. Knew we weren't going to miss a day. Don't miss me. Slipping when it comes to a new Clippers hat. I got this from a listener named Mark. Shout out, Mark. Sent me this hat. Really appreciate it. It is a Clippers throwback hat. Maybe I could hit the reverse here so you can actually see the cursive and make it look better. I don't even know how to do that. Do I know how to do that? Yeah, I do. There you go. There's the hat. I really appreciate it. Mark sent me this, and this hat rules. I am a big fan of this old school Clippers logo here. So, who's in the chat first? Who's showing up first? Ryan Garcia. Oh, Ray thought he was first, but Ryan Garcia said hi first. Punk's gone wrong, said hey, hey. Ray then realized he was second and said, damn. Yo, that hat is fire. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. What's up, Link26? I do like this hat. There you go. This hat is beautiful. Mark sent me this. Mark, my guy, appreciate you. Big ups to you. He sent me another one too. I'll wear that a different show here, but got a good show for you guys. I think I want to go through some of the post-game audio that we didn't end up going to last night because there was no Clippers talk after dark. Ray said, shame on my family for being second in the chat. Ex-Mongrel Project said, yo, what's up? But I didn't get around to doing a Clippers talk after dark last night. It's just less convenient now because I can't do it from home. My neighbors don't like it. In fact, I've been doing shows from the car. For Clips and Dip earlier, I was in the car, but then I had to come into work for something. And I was like, well, I'm not going to come into work twice and come back. It's just, yeah, it's about the convenience of it. Now I'm here at iHeart. I think we got our Christmas party coming up tomorrow. Drinking some Coca-Cola Zero that I stole from upstairs from one of the FM stations. I don't care. Let them know. And I want to get into some of the audio we got from last night after the Clippers ended up falling to the Houston Rockets 117-106. It was their second straight loss at Intuit as well. Let's hope they don't make a habit of this. Clippers off until Friday when they're in Denver taking on the Nuggets. That is a makeup game as the Clippers have two of them because there were only 80 games scheduled because they were leaving it open to see who got into the knockout round of the tournament. The Clippers did not make it there in the in-season tournament, unfortunately. I don't like the mic so much on this side. Am I going back to the mirrored effect here? Yeah, there we go. So the Clippers don't make the tournament. They get two games scheduled. First one's coming up on Friday against the Denver Nuggets. Second one is on Monday back at Intuit Dome against the Utah Jazz. I'm no longer in the void. There isn't just darkness around me. But check out that Clips and Dip episode we just did about, I don't know, a couple hours ago. It took a while to upload, but we got it out now. I want to hear from Coach Lue postgame after that loss last night to the Houston Rockets, where the Clippers were extremely undermanned. And as I was telling people who were saying, hey, they went small, they shouldn't have gone so small out there. Well, they didn't have a lot of choices after Amir Coffey and Derek Jones Jr. weren't able to go. Derek Jones Jr. after the first quarter, Amir Coffey after pregame warmups. Coach Lue had to throw out some small ball lineups. And to the credit of Bones Highland, some of those guys were playing really well. Some of those smaller players. Bones ended up leading them with 22 points. Here was Coach Lue post-game after last night's loss. And then we'll get into some stuff with Kawhi Leonard, as Law Murray wrote about him earlier. And then I have some numbers on Chris Dunn and the three ball that has evaded him over the last 3 weeks or so. Here was Coach Lue after the Clippers lost to the Rockets.
Coach, shorthanded, do you like how you guys competed and scrapped tonight?
Yeah, I do. Outside that little 4-minute stretch at the end of the second quarter, where I thought they they out-scrapped us, but overall for 44 minutes, I thought we did a good job of just, competing. They made some tough shots. Yeah, but I like our guys, scrap, overall.
So I told you guys immediately, and I felt like this during the game. I said it on the broadcast. I was hoping that 12-2 run near the end of the second quarter, the end of the first half, would not be fatal. It proved to be for the Clippers, because outside of that, they were playing Houston even. It was that 12-2 run, or that 15-6 run, if you want to take it at the 3:30 mark of the second quarter, that did them in. That was it. And the guys on the court just weren't good enough, weren't connected enough, weren't focused, or as focused as they had been. And it speaks to their small margin of error when you're in a game like that. You're already down James Harden, obviously Kawhi, Terance Mann, Mo Bamba, and then you lose two more guys in Derek Jones Jr. and Amir Coffey. And the Clippers they had to play a damn near perfect game, and they needed Norman Powell to get it going. It never really happened. But that run, he brought it up too. Outside of that, he felt like they scrapped. He likes to call it their scrap, their fight, their ability to compete out there, even though they were shorthanded. It was just the last couple of minutes of the second quarter that really turned the tide in the favor of the Houston Rockets. More from Coach Lue.
How are Derek and Amir doing, if you know?
I'm not sure.
So we still haven't gotten an update today. And they were supposed to practice today, but I guess it wasn't open to the media. There was no update that I saw out there. I don't know if you guys did, on Derek Jones Jr. and Amir Coffey and the severity of their injuries. Derek Jones Jr., he had a sore hamstring. Amir Coffey somehow in the layup line ended up with a sore shoulder. That's a tongue twister. It was unfortunate.
In terms of what Houston's been able to do against you guys in these three games, kind of crashing the offensive glass, kind of how big of a problem has that been for you guys, especially in a game like this where you are shorthanded and trying to match up to them physically?
Yeah, I mean, we're giving them 12 offensive rebounds. It's not too bad, but, they are bigger than we are. We had a lot of small combinations on the floor.
It's not like Coach Lue wasn't aware of it, but what could they do?
A result of the injuries that we had. Like I said, it's going to happen. I thought our guys tried to hit. They were just bigger. They got to the ball faster than we did. And there's nothing you can really do to try to control that. You just hit first, try to pursue the basketball. And they were able to get to a few of them that we couldn't get to.
So for all the people crying afterwards saying, oh, it was the rebounding, we need a 4 now, this or that, it wasn't for a lack of effort. The Clippers just didn't have the bodies because they lost pretty much all their wings except Nico Batum by the time the second quarter rolled around. The Houston Rockets are also the best rebounding team in the league. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league too. People were in here complaining about the Clippers like they weren't trying or they weren't hustling out there. That wasn't the case. They just simply were outmatched because of their lack of size with their personnel after all the injuries going on. There's not much else they could do about it.
Hey, Coach, can you just talk about how Bones was able to step up tonight?
Yeah.
It seemed like he was having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought Bones was, really good. I thought when we got down, we brought him in to start the second quarter. He really got us going offensively, made some shots, pushing the pace. I thought he did a good job defensively as well. We put him on Jalen Green so we can blitz and kind of have him out off the backside. He did a good job of guarding him as well. So
the biggest shot of the game, that Jalen Green 3, was very well defended by Bones Highland.
That pop and that pace and his shot making really needed it tonight.
A game like this, all the guys missing, what learned for
Brad Turner with a great question here.
the team about going forward?
What's learned?
Guys we have out there?
What?
What can you learn from this game?
I mean, we turned the ball over 8 times, which is good.
That's a great number. In a game without James Harden with different lineup combinations out there, and they only turned the ball over 8 times, That's pretty damn impressive.
Good for us, especially, not having James. Only turned the ball over eight times. I thought it was more matter of fact offensively, like understanding what we try to do. They made it tricky because they had a center on guards and stuff like that. But
They had Şengün on Chris Dunn. More on that coming up here with Dunn's shooting numbers. That's something Ime does a lot. Coach Lue will speak to that here.
Overall, I thought we did a good job. I thought we competed. Like I said, we scrapped. And so just
one other thing he said here,
especially not having James. Only turned the ball over eight times. I thought it was more matter of fact offensively, like understanding what we try to do.
More matter of fact offensively, more decisive out there with how they wanted to run things on the offensive end. I think earlier in the season, if they were missing James, they would have struggled much more on the offensive end. But because they're further into the year, stuff has been ingrained of how they're supposed to play in their minds. So even without James Harden, guys were just, as Coach Lue put it, more matter of fact with the way they were playing on the offensive end. That was really good to see.
We step on the floor, we got to make it tough for guys to play against us. And I thought we did that for the most part.
So Law's going to ask him about Chris Dunn being guarded by Alperen Şengün here, which is an interesting wrinkle.
Maybe this is a general question, not just on this game, but what is the ideal role of a player who is roaming defensively, a guy who can, be out on the perimeter, guard. What do teams look for when they play like that?
Just looking to try to switch more, and then take you out of your offensive stats because you're used to running everything with the 5-man. And so when you put them on a guard, it makes it kind of tricky, to kind of run your offense. And so they've been doing it. Ime was doing it when he was in Boston as well. But Robert Williams put them on the guards, and they're good at it. They really do a good job defensively in that regard. And so it's just something you got to prep and prepare for. If you're playing these guys.
So part of the strategy is with Houston doing that and putting Şengün on Chris Dunn is he can just sag off of him, play off of him. It's kind of like what the Clippers would do when they went up against Russell Westbrook. And then you have a situation where you're playing 4-on-5 basically on the offensive end. You're daring Chris Dunn to shoot it. I'll have those numbers for you. Chris Dunn from 3 over his last 52 attempts here in a second. But also, if you're trying to typically get the other team's big in the pick and roll and create some advantages there, but in this case, the big man is guarding Chris Dunn instead of Ivica Zubac. So Zubac comes up to set the screen instead, and I think it would be Jabari Smith who would then be in the pick and roll, or Thompson instead of Alperen Şengün, a worse defender than those guys. Smart strategy by the Houston Rockets.
Were you happy with the shot quality that you guys had tonight?
I got to go
Shot quality. Were you happy with it from Justin Rousseau?
back and look, but overall, I thought so. I thought we got some good shots. I mean, we didn't force a lot of shots. With that being said, just 11 for 34 from 3, which we could have made a few more of those. But I thought shot quality was pretty good. For the people we had on the floor, I thought it was pretty good.
Hi, Coach. Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
You got to ask Kawhi.
I don't know. Can you guys pick up on what this question is here? It's something about Kawhi. Can you guys decipher this?
Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
Pretty good.
Hi, Coach. Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
You got to ask Kawhi.
I can't tell what she says. Can you guys hear that?
Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
You got to ask Kawhi.
Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
Like, I need subtitles. I often do at night when I'm watching something. I watch everything with subtitles now. I need to hear.
Hi, Coach. Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
You got to ask Kawhi.
Anybody got that? I can't hear exactly what she asks. And Coach Lue says you got to ask Kawhi.
Hi, Coach. Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
You got to ask Kawhi.
Is Kawhi seeing anybody standing out so far?
Pretty good.
Hi, Coach. Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
Okay. Okay. Multiple people hear it that way. Multiple people are hearing it the same way. So that's probably it. So it's the same question that Kawhi got in Hawaii, where he was like, nobody stands out so far, after praising some guys, but then he said nobody in particular standing out so far. Yeah. It goes back to the first game in Honolulu. That's pretty funny.
Good.
Hi, Coach. Does Kawhi see anybody standing out so far?
You got to ask Kawhi. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And that's why Coach Lue was laughing there. You remember that. See, this is why I want to go through this sound here. You guys are helping me out. That was Coach Lue post game last night after the Clippers 117-106 loss to the Houston Rockets at Intuit Dome. Clippers got 4 days off until Friday when they're in Denver taking on the Nuggets for the third time, second game in Denver. The thing that stinks about that game in Denver is in getting them back on the schedule with the, I guess, makeup games. They only were playing them 3 times this season, and now they're playing them 4 times. So they won the first 2, and initially we thought, oh, they already won the season series against the Denver Nuggets because they won the first 2 games, and they're only going to play them 3 times. Now the Denver Nuggets have a chance to even the series because they play them twice more. If Denver wins the last 2, then instead of it going to head-to-head record, it would kick it down to what's the next tiebreaker? Conference record? If no one wins their division, maybe? That's the only thing. Oh, not the only thing. Denver's very good, and Nikola Jokic is on a tear and looking to win his 4th straight regular season MVP as he is just carrying them right now. But that was one of the big implications that I thought of right away when I saw Denver back on the schedule with these 2 games here with the Clippers being out of the knockout round. So appreciate you guys helping me figure out and decipher what that question was because that was bugging me last night. So we bring up that instance where, once again, against the Houston Rockets, they put Şengün on Chris Dunn, which means Şengün can help off of him because Chris Dunn has not been shooting it well from the outside. He doesn't have to step up to guard him. So, therefore, it's like you're having to play 4-on-5 on the offensive end. They're taking Chris Dunn out of it, and either he's going to knock down some threes and make them pay for it, or you're just not going to give him the basketball. In this case last night, Chris Dunn ended up, after knocking down his first 3 in the first shot of the game, going just 1 for 5 from the outside. Advantage Houston and that strategy of having Şengün on him. He missed the next 4 shots he took from the outside, Chris Dunn. So I was doing a little bit of digging because I've been throwing around the numbers and saying like, yeah, I think he's something like 14 for his last 50. So, you know, I try to be more accurate than that. And I actually went through and found this for you. Chris Dunn, over his last 52 attempts from distance, is 14 for 52. Not 14 for his last 50, 14 for his last 52 attempts from 3. That is a guy who's been shooting 26% from 3 over the last 3 weeks or so. It has been tough, maybe a month or so. After he started off hot, I think he was something like 11 for his first 24. He was shooting 45% from the outside. Unfortunately, as predicted, the hot shooting would not hold up, and he is regressing to the mean drastically right now, Chris Dunn, because his body of work says he's not a great 3-point shooter in his career. Now, I wondered because the last 2 seasons where he played 88 games total for the Utah Jazz, he shot, I think, just over 40% from 3 on about 110 attempts or something like that. And I thought, is he improving there? Has he gotten better? But it was only 88 games. It was only a little over 100 attempts, not a big enough sample size to say he had turned a corner or at the age of 29 and 30 now that he has become a better shooter. Clearly, that didn't happen because for his career, he's a 32% three-point shooter. And guess what he's shooting right now, 25 games into the season? 32%. After starting off at 45% the first 2 or 3 weeks. He's right back to where he is for his career at 32% from the outside, Chris Dunn. So how much does that hurt the Clippers in the starting lineup? I still don't think his poor shooting is making him a net negative in any way. What he does defensively is far more important. What he does defensively is really big for this team, and it sets a tone immediately. And when Kawhi comes back, we're all anticipating Chris Dunn being back to coming off the bench anyways. This is a temporary, I think, move to the starting lineup where Kawhi would take his spot. Norman Powell would stay in the starting lineup. Derek Jones Jr. would stay in the starting lineup. And Chris Dunn would be the guy who'd have to be bumped back to the bench whenever Kawhi returns. Teo said, yes, Dunn is a defensive player. Well, I've known this for a long time, but a lot of people were wondering, is he turning into a better shooter based upon what he was able to do in Utah in those 88 games? It would be great if he got to 38% overall for the year from 3. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm skeptical of that just based upon his career numbers and how drastic the shooting has fallen off now. And I was listening to the Lobs Jam, the podcast earlier with Dr. Schaff and Robert Flom, and I can't remember who brought it up between the two, but they were talking about whether or not Chris Dunn and the level of energy he exerts defensively, flying around, playing off of guys, playing passing lanes, guarding multiple guys, if that takes something out of his legs, and therefore you get deeper into the season and it's hurting his shooting from the outside. Very well could be the case. I think it's an interesting hypothesis. JNCTN said advanced statistics still love Chris Dunn despite the offensive struggles. I do too. I'm not worried about Chris Dunn hurting them overall just because he's not shooting it well. He did get a floater to go, I think a couple of them last night. And that is a part of his game too. That's a little bit underappreciated. He's got some real float game to him, and he needs to be confident in it. Because after making that first 3, his next couple shots that he would make in the game would be floaters. And he ended up with 9 points in 22 minutes. Not a terrible game. Just stunk that he hit his first shot from the outside, and you thought, okay, is he going to turn things around? Is tonight the night where his three-point shooting picks up a little bit and he hurts Houston, who's playing off of him and daring him to shoot like he's Russell Westbrook? No, has not materialized. You wonder how much of it could be confidence too right now. JNCTN said, I think Dunn is better next to Kawhi than Powell. I think Norman Powell at this point has earned this opportunity to stay in the starting lineup. He's been that good, and his defense has not really hurt them. His effort's been better, as he said it would be going into this season. All the talk was they want him to get back to his Toronto Raptors days of playing defense or his UCLA Bruins days of playing defense. And I think Ray's right here. He says, I don't know about that. Norm spacing will be elite with Kawhi and Harden. Yeah, like, you want the stars to be comfortable out there especially to start games, because the Clippers have been very good so far, guys, in first quarters. Let me see what their net rating is, because it was top 5 on the season when it came to first quarters, which obviously flies in the face of what we typically expect from a Clippers team, which is slow, stuck in mud type of starts. But that hasn't been the case this season. Let me see if they're still getting off to those good starts, as I haven't checked this for a little bit here as I go through just the first quarter advanced stats here. Let's see where the Clippers net rating is. They are 6th, so it's dropped by 1 spot. They have the 6th best net rating in first quarters. They're also good in third quarters. It's the 2nd and 4th where they have struggled in the net rating department. In third quarters, they're 8th. You go to second quarters. Do I want to do this? They have the 26th best net rating. Fourth quarters, I don't think it's as bad as that, but it's still bad. Yeah, 15th. What does that tell you? A lot of that is James Harden starting halves, getting them going. But we want them to maintain some pop on the offensive end to start games. And Norman Powell has not hurt them defensively. So I don't know why you'd want him. I understand why you want to lean into defense to start games. But I would say what I would do is I would leave Norman Powell in there. So my starting lineup when Kawhi returns would be James Harden. What am I going with here? I'm going with James Harden, Ivica Zubac, Derek Jones Jr., Norman Powell, and Kawhi Leonard. That's how I'm playing it. And then the first sub might be for Norman Powell with Chris Dunn coming in then. That's probably how I would play it. And he's just going to wreck shop then. And look, I get the logic of Chris Dunn sets the tone to start games defensively. I just think they can still do that with Kawhi Leonard, Derek Jones Jr., and Ivica Zubac in the starting lineup. You still have 3 really good defenders out there next to Norm, who's been okay, and next to James Harden, who, to his credit, for the most part this season, I feel like he hasn't been a disaster defensively or anything like that. He's given a good effort out there. Swervo said, need more Bones minutes. He was good both sides of the ball last night. It was one game. I just don't know if that's going to happen. Now, what I'm hoping is most of the guys are going to be back Friday. Therefore, James Harden's back in. Amir Coffey, Derek Jones Jr., Terance Mann won't be. I just don't know if Bones is going to be able to get run when the majority of guys are healthy. And it sounded like pregame what we heard from Coach Lue talking with Carlo Jimenez. He labeled these injuries, knickknacks, little injuries, nagging injuries, just little things bugging guys, and you have a chance to get a ton of rest, so take advantage of it. That's the way I read the room or the situation with the Clippers and them having so many guys out. Now, there were 2 more injuries that happened that Coach Lue didn't know about when he made that remark, and that was Amir Coffey with the shoulder injury pregame and the shoulder contusion, and then Derek Jones Jr. with the sore hammy. So we didn't get an update today on those guys, the newer injuries here. XC said Kawhi and Powell play great together. That's the other thing. They have the Powell Rangers lineup, of course, from last season, including both of them. Teo said Dunn will definitely not hurt. Why? What do you mean? Dunn will definitely not hurt. Why? Our Japanese friend said, do you think bench lineup after Claw's back? Dunn, KPJ, Mann, KPJ, yeah, Amir, and Bamba or Nico? All those guys are going to be in the mix. Who's out? Right now, it's going to be Terance Mann. Terance Mann is out for a significant portion of time. So even if Kawhi returns sometime in the next 2 weeks, I don't think Terance Mann will be back by then. because they said reevaluated in 3 weeks about 4 days ago. That was, the Wednesday game before they got beat by Minnesota, I think. At home, Ryan said Kawhi, Powell, Harden, Zoo is a dynamic lineup. Needed a non-cancerous 4 who could help with rebounds. Nah, I'm good with Derek Jones Jr. in there, my guy. Derek Jones Jr. has been way too good for this team. I'm not taking him out. I'm not taking DJ out of the starting lineup. Ray said DJ has been solid at 3-pointers, defense, and obviously dunking. I love that starting lineup. Yeah. Teo said we have a good squad. Next man up. Brian said DJ has been solid at the 4 too, though. Hey, let me explain something again. The Clippers have been one of the best rebounding teams so far this season. When all offseason, everybody kept saying that, oh, they need a 4, they need a 4. What about rebounding? First of all, the 4 they need is a guy who can also stretch the floor, because if you bring in a 4 that is too similar to Ivica Zubac and can't shoot from the outside, that's going to clog up spacing. It's going to hurt your offense. Yeah, you might be a little bit better rebounding wise, but they have been good on that end. So I'm not worried about it. Why are we still worried about the rebounding when the Clippers are 6th in rebounding percentage, when they are 1st in defensive rebounding percentage? Oh no, they had a bunch of guys out and they lost the rebounding battle to the best rebounding team in the league last night, the Houston Rockets. You expect me to overreact from that? No, I'm not going to do it. They've been fine without that special 4 that would cost way too much to get. A guy who can be a rim defender, play some small ball 5, rebound, but also stretch the floor. Who's going to do that for them? They're not getting Aaron Gordon. Derek Jones Jr. has been very good. Kawhi at the 4 will be good. I don't think Kawhi getting hurt while playing the 4 last season and the swelling popping up means much when he got hurt playing the 3 before too. It's not, to me, so much him playing the 4 is more physical. It's the way Kawhi plays in general, where regardless, he seems to be running the most miles per game for the Clippers, regardless of position. That's just who Kawhi is. He can't help himself. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year winner, twice over. The issue is, can he reel it in a little bit? I don't know, because he's instinctual out there. He's going to make plays on the defensive end. He's going to move around a lot. Maybe we'll see if he can adjust. Deca Fantastic said, Adam, my conspiracy theory is that Harden sits a few games only because when else can we get him this amount of rest? Why does he need to sit a few games? He literally is going to go 8 days between games if he plays on Friday. Deca, is that not enough? That's an all-star break. 8 days to get that right groin strain correct. I don't think he needs to, unless it's worse than we realize, and I don't think that's the case, given what Coach Lue said about it. I don't think he needs more than 8 days. Teo said we need to trade Bones and PJ Tucker and get something. What are you going to get? Ugh. Ross said Harden and Dunn are tied for 1.6 steals a game. Harden has played very good defense this year. Steal doesn't always equate to playing really good defense. You know, he has led the league in steals before. So is Allen Iverson. That doesn't make a guy a great defender. That often means they're probably giving something up when they do crash passing lanes and don't get to the basketball. They gamble. It's not always the greatest thing. I'm happy that Harden is getting steals, and he does have really quick hands, but he still gets caught at times. Groin soreness, groin strain. Let me see what it was labeled as. Regardless of the terminology, it didn't sound like it was anything serious coming from Coach Lue. Yes, right groin soreness is what they called it. The realist said, what's the news on Kawhi? I wouldn't say it's necessarily anything new, but it's a really good summary of everything with Kawhi, including some of his past return dates that have been in December, like back in 2017 with San Antonio Spurs. This came from La Murray of The Athletic earlier today. He put together a really nice and easy to digest timeline with Kawhi and his injury history and also things that have been said recently. Ross said they ranked 12th and 14th in steals. Ross said the Clippers ranked 11th in rebounds, 14th in defensive rebounding, 11th in offensive. Harden is second best. You're not going off of rebounding percentage, my guy. Pace affects the rebounding stuff that you're looking at. You want to take pace out of it because if you play at a slower pace like the Clippers do, there's less possessions where there are rebounds being had. So there's less rebound totals per game. Ray said, yes. Deca, is 8 days not good enough? He said 8 days is a crazy amount. That's true. He's an Iron Man too. Yeah, I don't think there needs to be a conspiracy theory going on with James Harden missing more games when 8 days of not playing a game seems pretty significant. J Dog said, a little unrelated, but it was funny. I saw a video of a Hawks fan talking about trades for them, and they say they need PJ Tucker, and they would trade Larry Nance for him, which is a little crazy. I don't buy that for a second. That's got to be AI or a complete casual. JDog777 also said, but what you think I thought, I can't even read that sentence. It's too difficult. Ray said, Dr. Shapp would say the terms matter. They do matter. But what matters more than the terms is what I kept saying, that Coach Lue made it sound like it's not a big deal. Jonathan Ing said, oh man, finally back in the live. Teo said Larry Nance for Tucker. And what the is crazy? Yeah, it's so crazy that's not going to happen. Which are the only trades that seem to be brought up here. Trades that are so unrealistic, they're not going to happen. I'm glad some Atlanta Hawks fan wants to do that. Does he represent the front office or the organization? I'm guessing there's people much smarter than him that know better, that aren't going to make that trade. I'm sorry, but just because the salaries match doesn't mean the trade's happening. Our Japanese friend said someone said that PJ and Bones for Nance. What's going on, Hawks? Come on. That's just not going to happen. Something else I wanted to bring up. I mean, if it does, I'd be happy about it. But why would the Hawks do that? I think they can get more. So some people brought up, and somebody in the comment section brought up how, and I'll just read it for you. This was from a couple of days ago on a video at Clippers Talk. Fijam Music said, so happy Coach did this interview. Oh, he was responding to the Stephen A. Smith interview that we went through on Saturday here. And then people today just started to bring up the Stephen A. Smith quotes. And I was like, come on, Farbod. Come on, Joey Lynn. I had this stuff on Saturday. What's up? Someone responded to that video I did with the audio we played with Stephen A. Smith interviewing Coach Lue and said, so happy Coach Lue did this interview, setting everything straight, especially to Stephen A. Smith. I just hope when Kawhi does come back, or guys continue to play like they're doing now. Don't defer to why. Keep bowling. Why will fit right in. To which I responded, like, you guys realize the Clippers are like a bottom 5 offense. I don't think Kawhi Leonard can hurt the Clippers offense whatsoever, nor do I think he can hurt their defense. It's Kawhi Leonard. Why do you not want him to upend the offensive rating of 24th in the league? That's where the Clippers rank offensively. You think Kawhi is going to hurt that? deferring to Kawhi, the best player in isolation last season, efficiency-wise, is going to hurt their offense, I'm not worried at all. You can't break, which is what is already kind of broken with this Clippers team. Offensively, they're not great on that end. They don't have the talent to be. They're missing Kawhi. He cures what ails them there. J-Dog said, I kid you not, LOL. It was a video posted 2 days ago from a Hawks fan page on YouTube, and people in the comments were agreeing. Send it to me at Follow Out of May. I'll play the video. Send it to me at Follow Out of May on X, and I'll play the video in here because I got to hear this. Ryan said, Clips and Dip was in my top 3 Spotify podcast listens. You guys are dope. Keep it up. J-Dog said, because apparently Larry Nance is not playing for them right now because he's behind Clint Capella. I get that he's not playing for them. That doesn't mean another team wouldn't offer more for Larry Nance than PJ Tucker, guys. Jonathan Ing, usually a voice of reason in here, brings up a great point. That's like getting Zoo from Muscala. J-Dog said, I had the same reaction you guys did. LMAO. I said he's crazy, but hey, I'll take the fleece. It's a fan saying it, not the Hawks front office. There's a slight difference. Ray said, Kawhi can get 25 shots up and I wouldn't be upset. Yeah. I just hope Kawhi doesn't ruin things. Ruin what? You think he's going to hurt them defensively? They're 6th there. Kawhi takes pride in his defense. He was one of the few guys. I thought last season was his best defensive year as a Clipper. He was the one keeping guys in check. Offensively, they're 24th. You think Kawhi's going to hurt that? Taylor Ramirez said, you heard Stephen A. Smith saying he was surprised how the Clippers are playing without Kawhi. I mean, I heard the interview. We played it here. Just look in the live section from 2 days ago on Saturday. Ice Cold Beverage said, we couldn't get Larry Nance Sr. for PJ. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, it's just wishful thinking. It's just fan talk. Can you all be objective? The Hawks front office is not falling for it. They're not giving up Larry Nance for PJ Tucker. If the Clippers give him other stuff, maybe. But let's check in on Larry Nance Jr. and his numbers this season, since he's not playing much, by the way. And just see if he's that perfect 4 that everybody wants. And I've liked the guy for a while. What's he shooting from 3? Oh, my God. 55%. Okay, he has played in 10 games. Let's see. How many 3-pointers has he actually gotten up? 29. So that 55% from 3 doesn't mean much. But here's what does. He's a career 35% 3-point shooter. He's just below league average. I'll take that. He is a good rebounder. Again, the Clippers are the 6th best rebounding team when it comes to rebounding percentage. They are the number 1 defensive rebounding team. They have not been bad there. All that talk from you guys all summer long about them needing a power forward and how they're going to get beat up on the boards hasn't played out that way. They scrap. Deca Fantastic said, hey, I guess Hawk fans watched PJ in Game 6 last year, and that's it. Teo says, yeah, we all agree he could be a good fit. How are they going to get him for PJ Tucker? You are not serious, people. Sorry. I had to go all Succession on you. I love you, but you're not serious, people. Anyone that thinks they're getting him straight up for PJ Tucker just because the salaries match, I got news for you. Even though he's not playing for Atlanta, doesn't mean they can't get more for Larry Nance Jr. Hey, I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's a fleecing. MKX LNT said, were 1995 Bulls fans worried about how MJ would look when he came back in relation to Kawhi? JDog777 said, I know it's not realistic, guys. Trust me, LOL. I just saw the video and thought it was funny since PJ is a running joke on here and clips and dip. No, I love it. It is funny. Did you tweet it to me at Follow Adam A? Because if you got that, I'll play it here. Ross said on the Trevor Lane podcast, he said the Hawks were going to keep Nance and were open to trading Capella for the right price. Contradictory reporting. J-Dog said, and yeah, I'll try to look for the video. Find it for me. Because I don't even know if it exists at this point. I'm skeptical. Gabriel said, LOL. Maybe that was to me freaking out. Ray said, this is why Adam got banned from podcasting at the apartment. So actually, it's your guys' fault. Bringing up stuff like this, which makes me hysterical and loud and pulling my hair out type stuff. Deccan Fantastic said, I would put good money on PJ getting bought out. He's not an asset. Yeah, you're the one. MKXLNT said, yes. I picked up on it the first time. That's a great point, my guy. Ray said, pajamas, Tucker. Miss Shake said, okay, now I can see why you're getting noise complaints. Why? Because I freak out when people talk about PJ Tucker trades for Larry Nance Jr.? Really? Jonathan Ing said, Nance is on expiring. Atlanta has an incentive to get real assets back from him and not lose him for nothing, as he is still a solid player. Yes, the salaries match, and they're both expiring. I noticed that too. Julio T said, Clips and Dip, best podcast. You guys are awesome. Thank you. 6 Abs said, please help me. Pets' heads are falling off. I'm going to repeat. The rest of the league is not out there trying to fulfill Clipper Nation's fantasy draft trades or whatever. They're out there trying to win the trade too and not just give up guys for nothing. What hat? What hat? What bike? This is a hat from Mark, who sent it to me. Sent me another one too. It is an old school Clippers throwback hat. Love it. Don't just like it. Love it. Boykin said, can we please trade Porter and Tucker? Someone's hating on Kevin Porter Jr. here. I thought he had another up and down performance. Even though, yeah, he scored the basketball some. He also had some defensive lapses at a really bad time. When I mentioned that 12-2 run, the last 2 minutes and 9 seconds of the first half, he made some errors there. He also made some good plays. It's like Kevin Porter Jr. is making just enough good plays every game to justify still having him out there. That's what it feels like. Because the low IQ basketball plays are pretty low. But then he's got a nice spinning layup or he hits a couple mid-range shots and it looks really nice. And it's like, man, they could get more consistency out of him. I see the vision. I get it. I am rooting for it to happen because I don't think Bones is long for this team. Deca Fantastic said, Lakers should give us the other Christie for PJ and Bones just for fun like they did with Zoo. Magic Johnson is not running the front office anymore. Jonathan Ing said, good thing I have headphones on to listen so all your screaming at these bad trade ideas will wake up my newborn daughter. Or will not wake her up. Boykins44 said, streaky as heck. Is that about KPJ? Alex Webb said, thinking about traveling to Denver for the game Friday. Ooh, hardcore Clippers fan. I'm worried about that game on Friday. Jonathan Ing said, good thing I have headphones on. Okay. Won't wake up my newborn daughter. Hex Mongo Project said, I think I found the PJ Tucker video. Send it to me at Follow Out of May, and I'll play it in here. I need this. Mike said very shaky with the ball. Sometimes, other times, he takes care of the basketball, KPJ. He had 1 turnover and 6 assists last night. It's just up and down. You're the sign of a guy who's just consistently inconsistent, or rust from being off for an entire year. Actually said, damn, I missed the last 10 minutes. I had to take a phone call. What did I miss? You missed somebody bring up how there's a video out there of Atlanta Hawks fans saying they'd trade for PJ Tucker and they would give up Larry Nance Jr. Ray talked about Jonathan's newborn, said, got to get her to use the podcast as her white noise machine. Well, that's hurtful. I'm just white noise here. Oh, we have the video. Well, then. But, like, I got to go to the 3-minute mark. All right. I'm far too into Fox podcast. Atlanta Sports Zone is what it's called. All right. I'm going to it. Give me a second here. I pull it up on my phone because I don't know if I'm going to be able to hear it with you guys when I play it in there. Let's see what we got here. Bear with me a second. 3-minute mark, you say? All right. Go back slightly. All right. I'll play it for you guys. I'll play it for myself. I got to share the screen. Adam, you dumbass. All right. Share the screen. Why does this guy look like Paul Pierce right there?
Keep Larry Nance. I agree with you. I think he's a phenomenal player, but the reason why I think we should trade him is because we're not utilizing him. We're not playing him. I think he could be that backup power forward that we need going forward, but Quinn Snyder is simply not playing for him, and I think he doesn't really fit into the system that Quinn Snyder wants to run, that big space rotational offense. But I think PJ Tucker will fit that very well because he can shoot that three, the corner three, from an elite clip. I think last time he was in the upwards 30% from that corner three. And so being able to just trade those two players, I think that offers the LA Clippers another big who allows them to space the floor. Right now they have Zubac and Mo Bamba, and I think that Larry Nance will give them another viable option to space the floor and shoot threes and allow them to play small ball, something that Tyronn Lue wants to play. So I think that's a trade that works out very well in both parties. It's pretty much an even split. I think also you're looking at the salary cap going forward for the Atlanta Hawks. PJ Tucker's on his last year of the deal, so if you don't like him, he's gone next year. So I think that should happen. That's move number one.
I can't believe I just heard. So this guy's just a complete casual. I'm sorry, but I might have to get him on the show. I don't want to update him on how PJ Tucker has been shooting in the corners from 3 over the last year. I don't. Because if this is going to catch fire here and somehow the entire fan base gets behind it, maybe the front office goes, F it, we're not playing Larry Nance Jr. and they do trade him for PJ Tucker. But I can't believe what I just heard there. I could not believe what I just heard there. Guys. J-Dog, I bow down. You had the audio. It was real. It wasn't AI. I can't believe that. I may have to get him on the show. I may have to get him on. But I don't want to spill the beans on PJ Tucker. I don't think he's done the research on how he's been shooting. Does anybody have his number on corner threes last year? I'm not trying to laugh, but it was bad. Really, really bad. See, he ended up shooting 37% from 3. How is that even possible? Am I missing something? Oh, okay. He attempted 30. He hit 11 of them for the Clippers. During the 23-24 season, let's see. Let's go back to his last 22-23 season. He did shoot his last full season, 75 games, where he attempted 143s. He did hit 55 of them. That is 39% that year in Philadelphia. But he was turning down threes with the Clippers. He looked afraid to shoot them. I don't know. Maybe people are fooled. If they are, that's great for us. Teo, you're missing the point for like the 5th time here. This is a timeout. Why would the Atlanta Hawks do that? PJ Tucker has been objectively bad. 6ab said he could be thinking of the 2017 version of PJ Tucker. People are just laughing about this. That audio was... that's hilarious. I understand the salary matches. It's not an issue. It's from the Clippers' point of view. I'm sure they would do it. Why would the Atlanta Hawks front office, if they did their due diligence on the research department with PJ Tucker and how he's been looking? Chris G said he could be 20 pounds heavier. I mean, we haven't seen him for a while. Alex Webb said maybe you should tell him how great a locker room guy PJ was so we can dump him to the Hawks. There's the other part. He got sent home after the trade deadline when they didn't trade him last season for insubordination. You deserve it, J-Dog. That's why I love doing the lives, because I'll find something out. There'll be some cool audio. We can bring it to you guys. We can play it for everybody. It's perfect. I appreciate people that legitimately contribute here. When I ask chat for some stats on something, does anybody have the stats on PJ Tucker on corner threes? I mean, he may have only shot corner threes, so maybe I just gave them to you right there. The overall 3-point numbers are what he shot on corner threes, because those are the only threes he was taking. I need this to happen now. I really do. Axie said, I don't think Atlanta front office would do that trade, but it works on paper, I guess. This is what I've been saying. Ray said, PJ was so bad that my wife could be in another room and knew Tucker would sub in because of my loud groans. P.O. Joe YT said, big Clippers fan. What will it take for me to join the show? To join the show? I mean, I've had one fan come on here, and that was a guy from Boston who had proved that he knew ball for quite some time. Helped me preview the game against the Boston Celtics. J-Dog said, I'm glad I was able to cause an uproar on a Clippers Talk Live. Invite PJ to Clippers Talk. He's said enough. Ray said Blazers would be the only team crazy enough to trade for PJ. Never forget how we got Norman Rocco. I thought it was a fleecing from day one. Honestly. Piojo YT said talk on a show like a post-game show or a pre-game show. Well, you can start your own. Good luck to you. Puneet said, when do you think Kawhi comes back? Predicted date, specific game. I'll say this with Kawhi. I'm confident enough to say this. If he doesn't come back before the end of December, that probably means there was a setback. That's how I feel about it right now. The more of these breadcrumbs that I pick up or dots that I connect lead me to think that Kawhi has been ramping up and they were targeting this time. The schedule is really what gets me. When you look at the schedule, it just makes sense that this is what they were zeroing in on. This is the point where you could get Kawhi back, get some practices in, because the schedule opened up finally. November wouldn't make sense now when you look back on it because they never had 2 consecutive days off. So maybe this is hopium, but I feel like right now there's a real good chance Kawhi's coming back in December. And if he doesn't, it probably means there was a setback. X-Mongo Project said, is PJ even in LA? Is he showing up in off-court team activities? No. He is home. Wherever I may roam, the Metallica song, wherever home is for him, he's home. I don't think he has to be in LA. Ross said, PJ corner 3 from last season, 40%. So how many did he take? 20? 15? Left corner, 50%. Right corner, 33.3%. What's the volume, though, Ross? I appreciate you getting these numbers. I love this stuff. It's like I have cleaning the glass AI or something. Jonathan Ing said, too bad the current CBA ensures there aren't any of those fleece trades like the Clippers getting Norm plus Rocco for Bledsoe and scraps. Pretty much. But call me overly confident. I do have a good feeling that unless there's a setback, Kawhi will be back in December. Ross said 1.8 per game. What's the total? He played in very few games, not the average per game, the total amount he took last season on corner threes. Because I just had the total number of threes he took, which was like 30. So how many corner threes did he take? 15? 25? I would appreciate that number, Ross. I really would. I just am excited right now a little bit, maybe more than I should be, because I've been the one since April saying it's not about when Kawhi plays. It's how his knee responds after playing. I told you guys back at the very beginning. Now I hear a bunch of other people saying that. I was saying it day one. You're saying that's Philly? I don't care about Philly. What did he shoot? How many threes? How many corner threes did he take for the Clippers? Munit said, hopefully it's the 16th. I'm ready to watch him again. That is his bobblehead night. But as I have pointed out, it is a Christmas-themed bobblehead. Their last home game before Christmas is the 16th. They have to get it out that night. So by no means does that mean Kawhi Leonard is definitely playing on the 16th. And that's why the bobblehead's going to be out then. It's out then because it's a Christmas-themed bobblehead, and it's the last opportunity for them to give it out for a home game. Stump said, are the Clippers going to trade in December 15th deadline? Maybe. Look for PJ to possibly get traded. Bunit said, are you worried about the injuries, and do you think Coffey, Derek Jones, Harden play Friday? I'm not that worried because they knew they had 4 days off. So any guy that gets nicked up probably should have been out of that game when you have 4 days off till Friday. I think they were just being cautious. Alfie said when Kawhi comes back, he will be looking like Wizards Michael Jordan for a couple games. Yeah, we'll get those jokes again. Absent said DJ has the most worrisome injury because it's a hamstring. I think Coffey and Harden will be fine for Friday. That's probably smart, especially for an explosive player like that with a hamstring issue. That's probably wise of you to say. Wise of me to cut this live. I don't want to say short. We've been going for an hour and 4 minutes here, guys. But I'm at work. I still got to go home. Get ready for bed. Do it all over again tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, it looks like we got a home and home again with Dime Dropper. I'll come on with Locked On Clippers with him. He'll come on with Clippers Talk with me. We'll do 30 minutes on each side at least. Not a bad guest, right? We've been doing this like once a month so far during the season. And then Lauren Rosen, your Clippers reporter, is coming on Wednesday. I don't think Kawhi needs to return for a home game. He hasn't in the past when he comes back from injury. He should return when he's healthy. I don't think it needs to be a home game. I just want to see him return and help the team win, regardless if it's home or the road. If he's 100%, if he's checked out the boxes, then please play him. Like, if he returns for those 2 games in Dallas, that'd be great. They're going to need him badly. I'm not going to wait just to make sure it's a home game. Why? Like, we're begging for Kawhi to come back, but now you want it to have to be a home game? No thanks. It can be a road game for me. And said, what is the ceiling if Kawhi comes back as the same player as last year, especially with the new defensive emergency or new defensive emergence? The ceiling? Championship. They can definitely get out of the West if Kawhi can stay healthy and looks like the player he was last season. I don't know if they can beat Boston, but maybe Boston loses. Cleveland's good. Milwaukee's playing better now. Philly might get it together. Embiid looked good the other night. Boston worries me, but with a healthy Kawhi, anything is possible. Honestly, with this team, with, as you mentioned, the defensive emergence, the makeup of this team, the way it was constructed, with how good they are on that end. I wouldn't have said that before the season, but the defense has been even better than I expected. They have played better overall than I expected them to without Kawhi. 14-11, 25 games in. Guys, we're 30% of the way into the season now. 30% of the way in. And they're 14-11. And they haven't gotten Kawhi for a game. Norman Powell has missed 6. Make it 7. James Harden has missed 1. Deca Fantastic said, I think he returns when we have a game with at least 2 days off after between games. Have to have opportunity to evaluate. Well, he could just come back knowing that he's definitely sitting out the next game anyways. So they see what happens with the knee. How does it respond? That is everything. I have no doubt he's going to come back. It's about staying on the court. Boonit said, do Clippers practice this week, and is there any chance Leonard practices? Coming off the post-game audio from last night, they were supposed to practice today, and then they had Tuesday, Wednesday off. But that could have fluctuated or changed. I don't know if that was definite. We'll see. There was no reporting on if there was a practice today, what came out of it. If we have something on that tomorrow, we'll talk about it here. I'm Adam Osland. Appreciate you guys. Oh, special appreciation to Hockney for the super sticker. And now I got to read what he said. He said, I'm calling it now. KPJ plus Bones plus PJ are getting traded for Malcolm Brogdon. Numbers work out perfectly. All right. He's calling his shot. I like Malcolm Brogdon. I wouldn't necessarily hate that. I hope KPJ comes around and is more consistent, but I don't know if he's ever been a consistent player. You know? I don't know if we've ever gotten a big enough sample size to know who he is as a player or who he could be because he's still young. Then he has a year off. There's just so many variables. Malcolm Brogdon does have injury issues, but good player. Clippers almost had him once before. Hockney, my guy. No, you the man. Really, really appreciate it. Set did not appreciate your trade. He said, hell nah. And said we finished top 3 in the Western Conference at the end of the season if Kawhi comes back healthy. Here's the thing. Kawhi comes back healthy, he's still not going to play back-to-backs. He's going to be missing games. He might only end up playing 30 games. I don't know if they can be a top 3 seed if he only plays 30 games. That I would have said hell nah at the start of the season if I knew that. And yeah, as dubious. I don't know. I don't know about that one, Chief. Teams like OKC, Denver, Dallas, the only competition, maybe the Suns too. I do agree with that part of it. I like your assessment of the West. Hockney said, I like KPJ too, but Lawrence Frank wants him. You heard it here first. Well, Hockney, we know he wants him. They literally traded for Malcolm Brogdon before. He got nixed in that 3-way trade. My guy, you're too nice. Hockney just being so generous during the holidays. Far too kind. Munit said, I feel like Kawhi will rest more than back-to-backs, maybe random games. Yeah. Like, what if he's only playing 1 game a week or something, or 2 games a week at most? I'm down to try anything at this point to keep him healthy for the playoffs, right? Whatever it takes. I don't care. I don't. I used to think some of the experimental load management stuff that people would throw out was ridiculous. 4 straight years of this, I'll try anything. I'm down for anything. Whatever keeps Kawhi available for the playoffs. Hockney said more people need to throw money at me. I won't turn that down. He's throwing more. How am I going to leave if Hockney keeps throwing more money? I'm not leaving until he stops. Planet 619 said, I was just about to say if he comes back, he'd only play 30 games or so. Anything 40 plus was off the table once he cleared November without playing. So how many games are left? 67? Is that 82 minus 25? Sounds right. Fist bump from Hockney. My guy. Hey, if people to keep donating, I won't leave. Believe that. That will keep me here. Oh, too much fun. I just wanted to stamp out tonight. Oh, is this my guy Mark who gave me the hat? Mark, thank you so much. I love this hat. Of the 2 you gave me, Mark, this is my favorite. This is one of my favorite Clippers hats now that I have. Honestly, it might be my favorite because I haven't seen this. How did you get this? Where did you find this? It's a throwback. The cursive is dope. The font, lettering, everything's perfect. Wait a second. There's only 57 games left? What was I on there? I was only 10 games off. Math is hard. Now Deca Fantastic is donating. I'm not leaving as long as you guys donate. I can't. I feel like I gypped you. Is gypped okay to say? What does gyp mean? Maybe it's not. I apologize if I offended anyone. It's a saying that maybe it should be taken away now. Yeah, I just don't want to feel like you were shorted anything here. I didn't know the origin of the saying until I thought about it and looked it up. Deca Fantastic said, Adam, I need you to call your shot. When does Kawhi come back? You guys want me to call my shot? Mark said, I can't remember, but it didn't fit me well. I love that hat. It's a snap-on the back. You can make it fit. Now Ray's in here donating. I don't want to beg. I don't want to beg, but I don't want to leave if you guys are going to donate, so I'll stay. Yeah, my math was way off. 57 games left. Planet 619 said 35 games from Kawhi tops, in my opinion. Hunit said Kawhi may come back in January, in my opinion. Leaves him with 4 months of regular season. Does it? And they're in the playoffs after the first week of April, right? Planet 619, thank you. Y'all are too kind. Far too kind. So I'm staying for a bit. Finishing my coffee, as Walter Sobchak would say. My main objective tonight was to come in here and say that Kawhi is not going to hurt them on the offensive end. No one should be worried about, Kawhi's going to ruin their rhythm. break up the good thing they have going on. They are 24th offensively. Kawhi is going to help them. I'm telling you, they're going to be a top 10 offense very quickly after Kawhi comes back. J-Dog said, hey, Adam, how does the NBA measure defensive rating and all that? Like, what is it based on, if you don't mind me asking? It is points per 100 possessions given up, meaning it levels out pace because teams play at a different pace. So they just take it by over 100 possessions because some teams are going to have more possessions per game. Some teams are going to have less. That's my understanding of it. Deca Fantastic said, got to make sure Adam has his Taco Bell money. Come on, y'all. We almost got him evicted with terrible trades. You're not lying there. I come here to do shows now because I can't do them at home. I was too loud. I couldn't lower the volume. I had to pump up the volume like Christian Slater. Mark said, just didn't look good on me. Ha ha ha. Enjoy, brother. Glad you like it. Also, all the hate Clippers got last game was funny. Zubac had so many turnovers last game, at least according to Quentin. And then you looked it up. He had 0. He was trying to hate on Ivica Zubac for all the turnovers, and he had 0. Jonathan Ing said, I will do right by Clipper Nation and raise my daughter to be a Clippers fan. Tacos after dark, said Ray. Puneet said, get back in rhythm in January, February, and March. Get wins, April, rest until playoffs. Hockney donated more. My God. Said, hey, you. Lowering his glasses. So is that the equivalent of like buying me a drink at the bar, basically? Ray said to Jonathan, our 2-year-old went to her second game last night. She's into Harden, Chuck, and chanting defense. Defense. Jonathan Ing's daughter is 5 days old. Congratulations again, Jonathan Ing. King Charles. Well, he's a king, so he's got a lot of money to super chat me, I guess. I appreciate it, King Charles. True Clippers fan. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much, my friend. Ray said, one game at a time. Ross said, okay, PJ during the 23-24 season shot 36.7%. And this is on corner threes or total threes? Because I have this number. I have total threes for you. 11 for 31. That's just total threes, right? That's not the advanced stats on the corner threes. They could have all been corner threes from PJ last year. Bunit said Kawhi is ready to practice, but the team is being overly cautious and just want him to get in rhythm the last couple of months and finish the playoffs. Maybe. That is a theory. Deca Fantastic said, I think the Pelicans trade for Bones, mainly because they are missing literally everybody. Yeah, Ross said total threes. Yeah, I had that. I already gave that number out, Ross. I wanted corner threes from last season, but I'll take it. It's such a small sample size. It's 31 shots. Who cares? I appreciate you digging through the numbers anyways, Ross. King Charles said, favorite player on this Clippers roster? Favorite player? Chris Dunn is my new favorite. Old favorite, Ivica Zubac. I just like the way he conducts himself. He understands the plight of Clippers fans and really had a lot of empathy and sympathy for the last 5 years not working out for them. He understood the toll it took on Clipper Nation. And he's just a badass out there. And he gets a ton of hate from people like Quentin, the casuals who hate on Ivica Zubac and like, oh, look at all the turnovers you just had last night when he had 0. Bunit said, Bones or KPJ is the backup point guard. I'm a Bones guy, but I understand going with KPJ. And I think that's probably the move right now. He has a higher ceiling than Bones. We kind of know who Bones is more than we know what KPJ can be in this league. Bigger body, better defender, better rebounder. Not a better three-point shooter. That's for sure. But maybe, I don't know, is he a better playmaker? Probably not. Boonit said, I remember when Marcus Morris was my second favorite Clipper behind Kawhi. Yeah, people turned on Marcus something fierce. That was tough. All right, guys. I got 10 more minutes here. Ray said, speaking of Zoo, he had an interesting interaction with Miller when he was out of position on defense leading to a dunk. Yeah, he talked about that post game where Miller was helping Ivica Zubac, not realizing that Big Zoo was already helping. There was somebody in the dunker spot that he was kind of shading towards. He was playing two. He was guarding two guys. Chris G, my G, thank you. Thank you, guys. It means a lot. I appreciate the love. It is just recently, I have felt maybe a little bit of burnout after not missing an episode since, I don't know, maybe October 13th or 14th or somewhere in there. I haven't missed a day doing this. And I'm not saying like woe is me or anything. It's not hard. I'm built for this. But did I hit the rookie wall on Clippers talk? Maybe for a second. But the encouragement more so than anything. And I do appreciate the super chats. But the encouragement from you guys, that's why I do it. I do it for you guys. I really just got to get a sponsor. And maybe they could take care of the money aspect so you guys wouldn't feel like I'm guilt tripping you into donating. I'm not. I didn't even ask for anything. Somebody it just happened on here from Hockney, who just came in and started throwing down dollars. Boonit said, I love Miller, but I won't be surprised if he's out of the rotation when we are fully healthy. I wouldn't mind it either. I trust Coffee and Mann more, especially on defense. Yeah, Jordan Miller, I don't want to see him out of the rotation, though, guys. I really don't. My hope is that when Kawhi's back, Dunn can play on ball more coming off the bench. And therefore, you have more of a playmaker. I know he's not KPJ or Bones, but between him and Jordan Miller out there, you have enough. And Terance at times, you have enough playmaking where you can get by without KPJ, without Bones. But I don't think KPJ is going anywhere, to be honest with you. I could be wrong. Hockney said 7 days a week, to be honest, was starting to worry about you, my guy. I was worried for a second too. Ray said, I'm okay with 5 days a week, Clippers talk. Other shows do 5 days a week. It's 7 days a week. I'm committed. Deca Fantastic said, Adam, get that Temu money. What's Temu? What do they do? Is an online shopping place. Is that a big sponsor? J-Dog said, Adam putting in that overtime, getting me through my shift. I love it. Hockney said, but by the way, Brogdon, my friends, 6th man of the year, a year and a half ago, won rookie of the year. Check the math. It's perfect. KPJ can't shoot, but will cook on the Wizards. Bones 2. Brogdon is 50, 40, 90, a vet who said he wants to win. Hockney, I'm a huge Brogdon fan. Go look at the episode Chuck Mockler and I did when we thought the Clippers had traded for Malcolm Brogdon. Summer of 2023. We did an entire episode. The Clippers got Malcolm Brogdon. Yay! I love Malcolm. Oh, thank you guys. Now Ross is donating. Jonathan Ing's donating. Y'all are too kind. Far too kind. I'm not asking for anything. Stop donating tonight. Stop. We're done. I don't deserve this. I gotta go soon. I'm exhausted. Alfie said, Adam, what is your ideal playoff rotation if everyone is healthy? Man, ask me when we get there. Cross that bridge when we get there. What are these numbers here, Ross? Is this PJ Tucker? Jonathan Ing said for under 10% body fat and late night Taco Bell. I actually haven't eaten anything today. I can't believe I'm telling you guys that, but I've been fasting all day. All I've had, some Diet Cokes. I was bad the last couple of days. Decker Fantastic said, Adam's family stand up. Yeah, Adam's family. Da-da-da-da. Hockney said, we'll check that one out. I promised you was there on the Clips and Dip side. Ah, my computer is literally dying. Guys, it just got a lot darker on my computer because I didn't have it plugged in. I have to go. Blessings to all of you. I appreciate you guys. You know what? I'm going to plug this bitch in. I feel so bad. You keep donating. All right, I plugged it in. I got another 10 minutes. Hockney, too nice. Blowing a party horn. Let's just say this, Ross. It's not enough shots to say it's anything significant to take away from, but I would caution the Hawks fans. I'm talking about wanting PJ Tucker, but hey, I'm cool with it. Nick Ramos said, Zoo hate will never be tolerated. That's right. That's right. Hockney said, by math, what I meant was the contract numbers will work perfectly. Hope you guys bring it up in the next Clips and Dip or Clippers talk. The Brogdon stuff has been brought up before. I'm a big fan. The only problem with Malcolm Brogdon is you're bringing in an injury-prone guy to a team that's injury-prone. That's the only downside. That already has enough guys out. Really, really hope this is Adam's computer flu game. That's good, Nick. That's pretty damn funny. Oh, the computer flu game. Yeah, I'm fine. My computer tried to die on me there. I plugged it in, though. It's charging now. You know, it goes to power save mode once you get below 20% battery life. I try to use that as an excuse to leave, but I can't when people be throwing money at the show like this. I'm a Malcolm Brogdon guy. I've won him forever. But you have to at least acknowledge he's injury prone. And that is a concern with this Clippers team, always and forever. As Zubac said before, Clippers can't have nice things, it feels like. Ross said, I would never trade for PJ at this point in his career, except for his expiring contract to get out of a longer-term contract. Yeah, like that's what makes the most sense. That's the reason why I'm sure there have been trade offers, and the Clippers are like, no, we're not taking on a longer salary, a longer contract for probably a guy that's not very good. Six Ab said, love your channel, Adam. I actually haven't watched any Clippers game this season. I haven't missed to watch any Clippers game this season with your help, LOL. I love the lives before and after the game. Appreciate you, Six Ab. I do. Appreciate anyone that loves the channel. I'm telling you, I've had some slight burnout the last week. Slight. But it's 7 days a week. I mean, and if they win the championship, we go 24/7 or 24 hours straight at least. I could pull that off. I am fading though. It's not like I can just roll into bed. I still have to go home, take a shower. Worked out for 2 hours today. Haven't eaten anything. That's what's really got me at low energy. It's not just my battery on my computer. That's at 20%. I think I am physically here right now. And then I got to run 10 miles in the morning. Ross said, go get some rest and see you tomorrow. Rest or rust. If I sleep, am I going to be rusty tomorrow? If I sleep too long before Clippers talk, will I be washed? Can't have that. Ah, Hockney again. Oh my God. This is insane. Hockney with another super chat. Taco Bell money. I love you guys. I mean that. I would not miss a show. Like right before I went on, I was like, damn, I missed this. Like I hadn't just done one yesterday. I was thinking about, damn, this is going to be fun. Honestly, right before I went on, it kicked in. I was like, hell yeah, the chat's going to be here. Adam's family's in the house. This is going to be a fun time. Got a lot to talk about. But honestly, we get so far off track sometimes in a good way with these tangents and these different roads we go down because you guys bring up stuff, or the Atlanta Hawks thing that was brought up earlier with the fan. I mean, that was great audio. Fantastic stuff by you guys. Just great work tonight. Good night, Hockney. Appreciate all the super chats. My God. Ray said, LMAO, let's make Adam rich. Yogurt balls all day. Yeah, I ran out of yogurt balls. I've eaten nothing today. I'm cooked. I'm out. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Mark, for the hat again. Thanks, everybody donating in here. You're too kind. You're too nice. I don't deserve you at all. I need to rest. I need to sleep. Chris G said, peace, gentlemen. Until the next Clippers talk, hopefully with a special guest, or with special guest Kawhi. You know what? If we did have Kawhi on tomorrow, I'd have to bump Dime Dropper. I'm sorry, Dime, but if that happens, you're out. I'm doing the 24-hour podcast when they win the championship. Mark, thanks for the hat. This hat is so dope. Like, honestly, such a good hat. Much love to everybody. I'm Adam Osland. This has been another edition of a Clippers Talk Live. We're back tomorrow around, I think, 6 or 7 with Dime Dropper. That'll be a good show. Appreciate y'all. I mean it, especially tonight.